Hey guys, welcome to Game Bat. Today we're beginning our video for our weapon conversion series for our Cold War weapons, and today we're going to take the new C58 assault rifle and make all of the conversions or builds, different variants you can make of this weapon here in game within Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War and Warzone. So I'll show you all the different real life builds for this weapon for the most part within reason for what we can get here in game. Walk through each and every one of them and show you how to build these from the ground up. So if we back out, we'll see one of our designs right here. And first off, we're actually going to back out and we're going to start with, we'll go to our list here that you can see. We're going to go with the CETME Modle C. So this is the base variant of the C58. So just for context here, this is really what the G3 was kind of derived from, worked in collaboration with the Spanish-owned company CETME to create and work with them, collaborate to make the G3. So this one, as well as the new light machine gun, the MG82, both CETME designed weapons, and they evolved specifically the Model C here. CETME evolved into the G3 from H&K once they took over manufacturing within Germany. So one thing to note here: the Model C and the name for the C58 or the CETME Model C stands for basically that it is a lighter weight 7.62 by 51 millimeter battle rifle. So that is really what we have here at base, the CETME Model C, or the original G3 you can also call it. So if we go ahead and back out, one thing you notice is the wood furnish. We have the fire controls here on the left hand side. We have the paddle magazine release there on the bottom in front of the trigger guard, just like with the AK versions. Again, we have the wood furnish on the handguard and the buttstock there, as well as we have the carrying handle here on the right hand side of the weapon. So go ahead and we will back out, and we're going to go to our first build. All the way up here at the top, we have the PSG-1. So if I go ahead and jump into this one is considered really a sniper rifle. So if we go ahead and look at this thing, you can see pretty aesthetically pleasing. This was designed, again, by H&K and put into service in 1972. So this is really considered a sniper rifle. So if I go ahead and back out, we'll strip this thing down to base. So some key attachments here. We'll start here with the C58. What you're going to want is the 18.7 inch Ranger. This is going to give you the longest barrel available. Now in real life, the barrel length, I believe, was around 25 inches for this weapon. This is 18.7 is really the largest barrel that we have, the longest barrel we have. So that's as good as we're going to get here within the game. That'll give you the bullet velocity increase, the vertical recoil control, and the cons being the aim, walking, movement speed, and the hip fire accuracy. And again, you can see you have that built-in bipod that's flipped forward there on the rifle. It looks pretty cool. So we'll go ahead and select that. Now for the optics, since this is a sniper rifle, we're going to want a sniper type optics. So we're going to go with the Hangman RF to give us that 1 to 6 time magnification. So we'll go ahead and put that on. You can see that gives it a nice sniper variant look here. Now for the stock option, we're going to want the Raider stock. This is going to give us the ADS firing movement speed, the aim walking movement speed, and the sprint to fire time. The cons here are going to be the hip fire accuracy, but obviously because this is really meant to be used as a sniper rifle variant, I guess in game you could use it as a DMR type variant. You definitely won't be wanting to hip fire this, nor would you want to be hip firing the weapon in general. So we'll select that. Now the next key attachment here is going to be the rear grip. This is going to where you want to select the SASR jungle grip. This is going to give you the pros being the aim down sight time and flinch resistance. Cons of the sprint to fire time. But you'll notice there, if we go ahead and select that, you'll notice the unique cosmetic change here to the pistol grip, where we have that grip pad on the bottom there, so your hand can rest on that, get a nice firm grip. That's specific to the PSG-1 version of sniper rifles here, so that gives us the look that we want for the PSG-1. And you can see we have one free attachment slot here, so you can feel free to put on probably a suppressor if you really wanted to. You could also put on the agency. However, the suppressor is probably all really you would need for this weapon. It looks pretty aesthetically pleasing too. You can see there it looks pretty nice if we were to select that. Now, that's really the final design here for the PSG-1. You can see this would be used by the sniper as a sniper rifle variant. However, you really wouldn't have the carrying handle there. Unfortunately, I don't think no matter what barrel we put on, we're always going to have the carrying handle, so it doesn't go away. Unfortunately, it was kind of ruins the aesthetics of the weapon a little bit, but not really, because you as the user in first person perspective only really see the left hand side of the weapon. So you're typically not even going to see the carrying handle there. And again, it's black, so it melds in or meshes in with the handguard itself, so it's not going to be too much of an issue. And again, we have that bipod there in the front. Very interesting looking rifle. Again, very aesthetically pleasing. This was put in service in 1972, and again, it fires at 7.62 by 51 NATO cartridge. So if we go ahead and back out, that's our PSG-1. Now, another variant of this would be the MSG-90. So if we go ahead, jump into this, it's going to be, you can see, essentially the same exact build. The only difference is that we're going to go ahead and leave the base pistol grip here. So really this one in specific, where the PSG-1 was meant to be a sniper rifle, this was meant to be a designated marksman rifle. So it would really make more sense. You're going to have all of the same attachments minus the pistol grip. It would probably make more sense here to throw on something like maybe a grip. You could throw on something like maybe the SFOD grip, something like that would give you still only 4 attachments, and then you could go ahead and do the suppressor on this one. Probably would make it look pretty nice. Again, it looks like a nice designated marksman type rifle here for the MSG-90. Again, same pros and cons really. We're using all the same attachments minus that pistol grip. You can feel free to use whichever other one you want there. And with that Hangman RF rifle, you're going to get that 1 to 6 times zoom toggle. You can get 1 through 6, really anywhere in between, and it'll give you what you need for that. So if we go ahead and deselect that suppressor just because it doesn't fit on the screen, this is our MSG-90. Now think of this really as kind of the modern variation of the PSG-90. This was put into service in 1990, obviously given the name MSG-90. It was lightweight, a little bit more modern, and again, not considered an actual sniper rifle, but more so of a designated marksman rifle, firing the same caliber of 7.62 by 51 NATO. So that's our DMR variant of the G3, being the MSG-90. Now if I go ahead and back out quickly, we'll go up for the G3A3. So this is really the most common known variant of the G3. I want to say we had this in a COD game, however, I think I may be mistaken. The G3A3 I never really think made an appearance. It is, however, the most widely known variant of the G3. So if we go ahead and we will strip this thing down to base, we'll start with the base CETME model here, and what we'll go ahead and do is for the barrel attachment, we're going to go ahead and again want the 18.7 inch Ranger, just because, again, in real life, the barrel length is going to be around 17.5 inches. This is really as close as we're going to get with the barrel length here. You could also run something like a Task Force, but it doesn't give us the right handguard. So either the 18.7 or even the 15.6 ultralight. However, it's a very shorter version of the barrel that and the handguard that we want. So we'll go ahead with the 18.7 Ranger. We'll go ahead and select that. Then for the stock option, the next key attachment here is going to be the tactical stock. So the tactical stock here gives us that G3A3 fixed buttstock option. We'll go ahead and select that for the aim, walk, and movement speed. And then for the optic here, you can go ahead and really put on whichever one you want. We'll go ahead and do a Vision Tech 2 times for this one. And then for the ammunition, you can go ahead and leave that at base. And then just for cosmetically to switch it up a little bit, we'll go with the SFOD grip, just because it looks like it blends in with the handguard a little bit better. But that's really our G3A3. Another version you could do, like I said, is just go ahead and select the ultralight. We can get rid of the grip. And that's essentially the G3A3. Just this would be a shorter barrel option. So like I said, I really prefer the 18.7 for almost all of these builds, just because it fits the right cosmetic changes that we would want for this rifle. So this is our G3A3. Now, if we go ahead and back out the G3A4, I think a lot of you guys are going to remember that we covered this in the weapon conversion series the other day. This is the one from Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered. Now, this was put into service, I believe it was where the G3A3 was put into service in the 1970s. The G3A4 was put in, or excuse me, the G3A3 was put into service in the 1960s, and the most commonly known variant all the way till 1974, where the G3A4 was put into service. So this one, again, very similar. We'll go ahead and strip this down. We're going to build it kind of similar to how I used to run it in COD, very similar to the weapon conversion video the other day. So if you want to watch that and get an idea of some background of the rifle itself with the G3, we go into a lot of detail there, so you can select or check that out down below in the description. So again, we're going to want the 18.7 inch Ranger. Again, in real life, the barrel length was around 17.5. This is really as close as we can get. We'll skip out on the laser, and we'll go ahead for the optic. We're going to go ahead and run, just because this is the one I used to run, or at least closest to the one I used to run in COD 4, the Microflex LED. Now, ideally in real life, you probably wouldn't even have an optic on this. I used to run it a lot as just iron sights in COD 4 also, which was more true to real life probably, especially in the 70s. But again, we'll put that Microflex LED on there. Now, for the stock option, the difference between the A3 and the A4, the main one, if we're looking at the cosmetics of the weapon, would be the CQB pad. This is going to be the retractable buttstock. Now, the pros in game give you the sprint to fire time, with the cons being the hip fire accuracy. So we'll go ahead and select that. And then we'll go ahead and get down here to the rear grip tape. Now, we can leave that as blank as well as the ammunition. And for the underbarrel attachment, we can also leave that blank. So that's really the only attachments that you need here. Again, you can throw on a suppressor. You can throw on even an underbarrel grip here if you really wanted to. For the ammunition, I think the one thing we did use in the conversion series the other day was the SAS mag clamp. Again, this would just give you either that or the jungle mag. But the mag clamp kind of gives you the illusion of having the more straighter variant that was different from the CETME Model C. The G3s had the more straighter mags, kind of like you're used to seeing with the FAL. So this almost gives it the illusion, almost. But again, not really a necessary attachment. You can use the base attachment there. You can use any of the other attachments, but that's really our G3A4 with that retractable buttstock. Again, just a later, more enhanced version of the G3A3. And again, I can't remember which, I want to say there was a G3A3 in a COD game, but I think I'm mistaken. I think it was the G3A4 from COD 4 is what I'm remembering. But correct me down below if I'm wrong. So that's our G3A4. Now, the last variant here of the weapon that I have is going to be the HK11. So this is really a magazine-fed variant of the HK21, which is a belt-fed version, light machine gun variant of the G3, essentially. HK was going with these designs way back there. I want to say the HK21 was designed in the 60s along with the G3 rifles. And then later on, the HK11 was a exported version where it saw a lot of success outside of Germany. So the exported version was not belt-fed, whereas the HK21 was belt-fed, so you wouldn't have this magazine weld there, and instead it would be belt-fed right above the magazine weld here on the part of the upper receiver. So we'll go ahead and we will strip this thing down. So we have our base Model C CETME. For the barrel option, we're going to go ahead and want the 18.2-inch takedown. It gives us that cosmetic barrel for the HK21 and the HK11. The pros here being the effective damage range and the horizontal recoil control. The cons, hip fire accuracy, and the sprint to fire speed. Laser, we can skip out on that. We can also skip out on the optic for right now. Now for the stock, we're going to go ahead and we are going to want, I believe it's the Duster stock. This more so cosmetically fits the HK21 and the HK11. However, one thing to note here, you have 21 on the buttstock, and you can see it there for HK21. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. It matches the HK21 and the HK11 stock. I think I said G11 earlier. It's the HK11, not the G11. But again, you have the 21 there on the buttstock, which, again, fits perfectly with the HK21. Now, the exported version of the HK21 was the magazine-fed version, being the HK11, which is what we have here. So that fits in perfectly. Rear grip, we can skip that. For the ammunition, we're going to want that 55-round Stenag. Gives us that drum mag here of the 7.62x51 NATO, so we increase our magazine capacity. And the cons there, ADS speed and the reload quickness. And that's really it there. We have the built-in bipod there you can see is folded up backwards towards the drum magazine. That's really the HK21 there. You could go ahead and throw on any optic you really wanted there to make that fit. But ultimately, that's the HK21 conversion for the HK11. And I believe that's all the variants we have here of the G3 or the CETME Model C. So first off, we covered the base CETME Model C. Then we covered the PSG-1 sniper rifle from H&K. We also covered the later version of that being the designated marksman version, the MSG-90. And then we also covered the G3A3, the most commonly known variant of the G3, the G3A4 from COD 4, as well as the H&K21 conversion to the HK11E, which would be the export. And this was exported again, not belt fed, but magazine fed. So let me know down below which one's your favorite. Let me know if I missed any down below. Again, there's a lot of different ones we could really do here if we wanted to get crazy. But for what we have available in the game, I think this really covers the most of them high level without getting kind of taking liberties too much. But again, let me know what you guys think down below. These are all of the conversions for the new C58 assault rifle here in game for the G3 conversions and H&K conversions. Till next time, this is Buffering Gaming, out.